Hi guys, it's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do my very first discussion video. I'm a little nervous about it, but I hope you enjoy it. Bookworm Confessions is going to be my series of discussion topics where I confess something to you guys for us to discuss. It may or may not be like an unpopular opinion or just something that I want to talk about. So some of you may have noticed that I have a lot of library books on my shelf, and that's because I don't own a lot of books. And so today's Bookworm Confession is about why I don't buy books. Now, when I say I don't buy books, I don't mean that I don't buy any books at all. I just don't buy very many books. And when I say I don't buy books, I should clarify that I don't buy books anymore. Back when I was younger and in high school, I definitely bought books all the time. I had a huge book collection, and a lot of it is actually still at my parents' house or has been handed down to my younger sister. I was always looking for new books to buy. I want to be clear here that I'm not saying that buying books is bad by any means. I'm just saying that I used to buy a lot of books and now I don't. In this video, I'm going to talk about a few of the reasons why I don't buy books anymore. One of the biggest reasons why I don't buy a lot of books anymore is that between graduating high school and where I am now in life, I have moved pretty much every other year, if not every year. So that was a lot of moving. And every time that I moved, the number of books that I took with me got smaller and smaller. Books are heavy, and trying to move all those boxes, it took up a lot of space and a lot of weight. And just each time I moved, I was more selective about the books that I brought with me. After getting rid of so many books year after year, I kind of got tired of buying books because I knew that just the next time that I moved, I probably would be getting rid of them again. Eventually, I realized that I was wasting a lot of my money on books just because I wasn't going to keep them in the long run. And I use the term wasting very lightly. I mean, yes, usually I did enjoy the book, but I didn't have to buy the books to enjoy them. Another reason why I don't buy a lot of books is that I know that I'm not a big rereader. I have only reread a handful of books in my life. A couple of those being my favorite series, like Harry Potter or The Wheel of Time. Those are two series that I've reread multiple times, and I did own them at one point, but in my many moves, I have left them behind. Don't worry, my Harry Potter books are safe at my parents' house, but I haven't reread them in years. A series like Harry Potter that I'm going to reread for the rest of my life is something that I would buy. So I guess what I'm saying when I say that I don't buy very many books is that I'm very picky about the books that I do buy. I want to only buy books that I know that I love and that I'm going to reread. This also means that I'm only buying books that I've already read. I know a lot of people buy a book and then read it, but that's just not my style anymore. I want to read a book and then realize that I love it before going to buy it. This used to not be hard for me because I could easily find books that I wanted to read at the library, then figure out that I really loved it and go buy it. But ever since I started blogging, it's been a lot harder because I'm constantly hearing about new releases and new books that are out that my library doesn't have yet, and I really want to read those new books. But because I don't buy books that I haven't read yet, I usually have to wait for the library to get it in and then read it before deciding if I want to buy it or not. So hearing about all these new books that are coming out has been a lot harder when it comes to trying not to buy them. That brings me to my next point. So because I don't buy a lot of books, I'm a very heavy library user. I happen to be very lucky, and I have a huge library system that has lots of branches that share books with each other. What that means is that there's lots of copies of books, even if they're really popular books, and I hardly ever have to wait for a book because there's not a copy available. Not only that, my library lets me check out a ton of books at a time. I'm not even sure how many max. I think maybe 25. And each time you check out a book, it's for 3 weeks, and you can also renew that book up to 2 more times as long as there's nobody else waiting for it. And like I said, because my library system has so many copies of the same book, I can usually keep out a book for a really long time. So yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm a library book hoarder. I typically have about 10 books out of the library at once, and I like to go and pick out the books that are at the top of my TBR, but also have like a good variety. So then I have my own small private collection, and because I'm a bit of a mood reader, I can kind of pick and choose what I feel like reading at any given time, even though I don't own any of my own books. The best part about using the library is that if I don't like a book, then I can just return it afterwards and I haven't lost any money over it. I often feel like library users are a little underrepresented in the online book community because there's always people talking about, oh, I'm gonna go buy this book, or I'm gonna buy all these new releases, or I just pre-ordered this. But when you go on Instagram or when you go on BookTube, there's people who have so many books on the shelves behind them, they're just displaying them for everyone to see. At first, that was really intimidating for me me. I didn't want to share with the book community that I don't like to buy books because I felt like people would look down on that. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this video and the blog post that goes along with it, which will be linked down below, because I wanted to share with the online book community that not buying books is okay. There's lots of people out there who use libraries. I've seen a few other booktubers post some similar videos, and I'll link them down below, because seeing those videos made me feel more comfortable talking about this on my channel. It also motivated me to talk about this so that other people who might feel like I did, which is shy about not owning a lot of books, don't have to feel that way. Another way that I try to show the online community that I use a library and I'm not ashamed of it is through my Instagram account. So I have an Instagram, or a bookstagram, and I post pictures of the books that I read, which are library books. One thing I find really funny is that it's really hard to take good pictures of library books, partially because the shininess that's on the cover, but also because especially my library system uses a lot of stickers and it can be a little distracting. But I don't care. I want to post those pictures anyways because I want to talk about the books that I'm reading. So if you feel like it, you can check out my Instagram account. It's not very pretty, but it's full of library books. And that brings me to my last point. Sometimes I do feel a little guilty about not buying books because I want to support the authors that I enjoy reading. But you know what? Buying books isn't the only way to support authors. Some other ways that I support authors include talking about their books on my social media, on my blog, on my channel, doing reviews, and just spreading the word about the books that I love. My blogger friend Crinny actually has a really fantastic post about how loving something is not a contest. She didn't put it in the context of buying books, but I think the same thing applies. I'll link her post below too. But basically what I'm trying to say is just because I don't collect every single edition of a book doesn't mean that I don't love that author just as much as someone else who does. I'm supporting that author in my own way. This is just my opinion and what I do. But I wanted to share it just in case there's other people out there like me who are feeling a little alone in the online book community, because you're not alone. I'm not judging anybody who buys books. I used to buy a lot of books, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. You're buying those books because you love them and you want to have your very own copy on your shelf, and I totally can understand that. So tell me, are you one of those people who buys lots of books, or are you like me and you use the library a lot? Or are you somewhere in between? You buy some books, but you use the library too? Tell me down below and let's discuss in the comments. If you like this discussion, please like, comment, or subscribe to this channel, and hopefully I'll be doing some more discussion topics soon. That's all I have for now, guys, so see you next time. Bye! To be my series of discussion topics. I often feel that being a library user so I have my own bookstagram, which is an Instagram account for my books. No, that's all I have for now, guys. So see you next time.